Today's July 15th. Before I get started, I wanted to hook up my ventilation system, get that all squared away. So I got these strips of PVC wood, and I put a screen sandwiched in between the framework for the fans and this canvas. So it's like sandwiched in there, and I also put a couple boards together and sandwiched together the flap and rolled it up and clamped it so it'll stay wide open. This way I get full volume of those two box fans to clear out the hot air inside of the shack. Here's the view from coming in from the front of the shack. So I got all the lights on. I have been running in fans now about 10 minutes. It's a lot cooler in here, and that's a good deal. So I got a power strip. I got everything plugged into this. It's all bungeed, so there's not a lot of cords dangling. So I did run a cord from the house, that green cord there. So everything's all running off the house current. So this way I can keep the fans and all the lights blazing, so I can see what I'm doing and I can clear out some of this hot air. So I wanted to safe the workspace and get it all ventilated and lit up, so now I can get to work. So the first thing I need to do is snap a line from tip to tip on hole number 1. I'll do the same thing here. I'll snap a line from tip to tip on the second hole. So I'm going to use a chalk line for that, and that'll put a temporary mark right down the middle, and I can measure to see if they're parallel. So I snapped the chalk line right down the middle from tip to tip. I got the end of the tape measure right on the line. So when I come across, (62 inches). Let's check the front. Okay, now we're at the front of the vessel. So I got the tape measure right on the line. We'll go across. 62. Alright, so we're good on the spacing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a ruler and draw a line parallel to the center, and that'll give me my zone where I need to sand to get it roughed up and ready for adhesion with the keel pieces. So now that I have a chalk line that represents the center of the boat, and I have some boundary layers to the left and the right of it, now I know the zone that I need to sand to prepare to bond the keel to the hull. So I'm going to get some sandpaper, a sanding block, and I'm going to start roughing up that surface, and then I'll be ready to clean it and get ready to start bonding. So I got both of the hulls sanded right down the center where I need to glue up the keel. So I'm going to go and get the vacuum cleaner. I'm going to pull all of that dust off that surface and make sure that it's clean, and I'm going to wipe it down. Here is a simulation on how I plan to clamp these when I glue them up tomorrow. So the holes are all prepared, they're ready to be glued up. So I took some bricks and I just stacked them on the keel boards, and they have enough weight on their own that they can bend the boards to hug the hull. So I think this is the method I'm going to use to hold them down. I still might need to drill a hole or put a finish nail in them to keep them from sliding left or right, because once they have epoxy on them, they're going to be a little bit more slippery, so they're going to want to move around. So what I probably think I'm going to do here is get everything all lined up the way I want it, drill a couple of holes to put some like finish nails through the boards and into the bottom of the boat, just as a kind of an alignment pin so they can't move on me, and then just let it sit with these bricks on it, and let them sit overnight till they harden, and glue up all these all the keel pieces. So I think that's going to work pretty good. I'm going to go with, right now I have 2 pieces, and you see as they take the bend, see how they shorten up as they take a bend. So this looks like it's going to work pretty good. So I'm going to go with 3 layers. So the middle here I got 3, so I'm going to have to cut 2 in half for each side, so I can run it from this edge down to the tip, down with that down over that way. I got a little overhang, that's fine. So I'm going to go with 3 pieces. That's going to be just enough for what I want to do. And as you can see, the brick is holding up flat against the hull. There is one spot right here coming up where there's a bit of a gap, but I'll just use a little extra amount of thickened epoxy there to take up that gap. The rest is a pretty much form fitting. That was the only area that had a little hiccup on it. So this looks like it's going to work pretty good. So that's the simulation on how I'm going to clamp it up tomorrow. So I'm just going to use bricks to hold the wood down. So I'm going to have 3 layers all together, and I'll pin them with a finish nail so they can't slide to the left or the right, and I'll repeat the same thing over on this side here. So I think by tomorrow I should have these glued up and drying, and I should be all set by tomorrow. So that's my strategy going forward. I gotta put everything away, turn all the lights off. I gotta go in and clean up and get ready for work. Take care, everybody.